Hey everyone, Dr. Beth Westy here, and I do these videos just to educate women more on hormones, nutrition, and things you can do to align your hormones and your nutrition together. Match your nutrition with your hormones. Amazing! I'm the author of the book, The Female Fat Solution, which is on Amazon, and the host of the podcast, The Female Health Solution, which is on All Places Podcast. And I have a YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to because you'll get notified for all the latest and greatest videos that I come out with lots of great info. I'm going to put in the comments right now, before I forget, a link to join the 12-week Menopause Challenge. This is the wait list for it. I haven't opened it yet, but I also have something else. If you have questions or if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to wait, because I only allow a certain number of women on this in the group. So the waitlist, you're going to get more info, you're going to get more content, you're going to get like a sneak peek at what happens behind the scenes. And if you're like, okay, I don't want to wait, I want to make sure that I nab one of those spots, I will also put a link below where you can schedule a call with my team and learn more about what that process is like before I even open it up to everybody else. So one of the things I want to talk about today, though, is why your body needs more protein in menopause than it does before. A lot of the other videos I've done in the past week have talked about nutrition changes, getting more energy, getting better sleep, really getting your body to burn more fat. And one thing that I've mentioned in pretty much all of them is protein. Protein. Why do I need so much protein? You need protein because your body doesn't process it the same anymore. Yes. So when we look at protein here, and these are all types of protein, right? This is animal protein, plant protein, all of that, right? If you don't eat animal products, totally fine. You just have to work a little bit harder to make sure that not only you're getting an increase in protein, but you're also getting that full spectrum of amino acids. It's really, really essential that you're getting these amino acids. So I'm going to spend just a minute here and break this down. I'm going to get a little nerdy. I might get a lot nerdy because I'm going to talk about the protein and everything else. And when we talk about essential amino acids, non-essential amino acids, all this other stuff, a lot of times people are like, I don't care. Just tell me what to do. Tell me the thing I need. La, la, la. Okay, which is fine. So if you're like, I don't want to know, that's totally fine. I'm just going to let you know anyway. So there are some proteins are all made up of amino acids. Now, some your body you make naturally, and some you have to get from food. Okay, that's essentially what it is, right? There's essential and non-essential. Again, we don't need it, right? But what it breaks down into, the amino acids, the building blocks of protein, some of them your body can make on its own. Some of it has to come from food. So when I say that full spectrum, we're looking at only a few different sources of protein that actually contain that full spectrum of amino acids. When you have that full spectrum, why is that important? That means that your body's getting able to build lean muscle better, faster, and maintain it easier because it's got all the building blocks it needs available. That's the big key thing. So when we're looking at getting it from food, there's a few sources that have all of it. So things like whey protein has all of it, beef, and I do like a grass-fed beef, something like that, right? Those are, again, do you have to eat beef? No, right? Again, if you're like, I don't like beef, totally fine, right? You can have chicken. That's what you love, super duper. I'm not here to tell you that you have to eat this or that. Or if you don't eat animal products at all, again, totally fine. You can use nuts, seeds, legumes, beans, all of it. You just have to make sure that you're getting this full spectrum of it, right? A variety. Because certain foods only contain certain amino acids, right? So it's like there's only like, some of them here, some of them here, some of them here. So like a bunch of seeds, a bunch of nuts, spaced throughout the day. So for example, so I put down whey protein here. Whey protein has the full spectrum, right? If you're going to go with, I'll just erase this to make it simple. We're like just talking protein powders. If we're talking plant-based protein, which I do a plant-based protein, I can do some whey as long as it's a grass-fed, undenatured whey, because my stomach is very sensitive to it. any other type of way. You guys know what I mean when I say sensitive, right? It doesn't go well. It's sensitive. So there's very few whey proteins that my stomach can handle. Otherwise, I do a plant-based protein. But to make sure that I'm getting a full spectrum, you need to have a pea and rice protein blend. When you're having pea and rice protein blended together, that gives you the spectrum of amino acids there. Great. Easy peasy, right? Super duper. What if I'm allergic to rice? Or what if I'm allergic to, right? Okay. Then you have to go further into it. Which again, I don't want to make this all about protein powders. I could, but I want to make sure we're talking about why your body needs more proteins when you are in menopause. So essentially, some of the proteins, some of the amino acids, again, that make up the proteins your body makes on its own. And the other ones, it's about half, right? And then the other ones you have to get from food. That's how you get the complete amino acids to make the proteins. So you can find them, the ones in whey, great. Otherwise, you have to use pea and rice together, that combination. That's going to get you the amino acids to make the protein. Super duper. But here's something that's super fun, especially for the female body, because I'm a women's health expert. So we talk about and reference all things for women. When the female body is under stress, guess what? It doesn't make all the amino acids that it normally makes. What? Yeah. It normally will make some of them, right? And then, but under stress, it doesn't make as many as it does before. Oh, so then what? You have to get more of it from food. So then here's what happens when your body goes through menopause. Those hormones, estrogen and progesterone, in a higher level in your system, that's what helps your body absorb and utilize and rebuild muscle tissue. And when you go through menopause, all of a sudden that changes. And your body is way more sensitive to stress. Meaning, it's not going to naturally make the same amino acid levels and amounts it used to. You have to get more from your food. You have to increase the amount you're getting from your food then to make sure you're getting the complete amino acid spectrum to actually build and maintain that lean muscle. So for a lot of women that are in menopause, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting tired, I'm fatigued. And they're like, I was chatting with somebody and she was like, this menopause body, it's ridiculous. I've got these skinny stick legs, like I've got no muscle on them, and my belly just keeps getting bigger. She's like, I got these toothpick legs. I feel like a marshmallow with toothpick legs. She was hilarious, right? And I was like, yeah, that protein is one of the biggest things you're missing then. Because you're not getting enough in to maintain and that muscle tissue. It is harder for the female body in menopause to build lean muscle and maintain it. And it's because the shift in hormone, the stressors on the body, and your body doesn't make the same amino acids anymore. It doesn't make the same amount, so you have to get more from food. Once you get more from the food that you're eating, it can, rebuild that muscle tissue. It can support that muscle tissue. Does it happen overnight? No. Again, in women's bodies, everything shifts and changes and all of these things. So you're also looking at things like, oh, well, now I have to build lean muscle. And on average, before menopause, women can gain maybe 2 to 3 pounds of lean muscle a month. After menopause, it is tougher. Not that you can't do it, but it is tougher. Yes. So keep that in mind. So when you're looking at then getting more protein, that's going to help, the toothpick legs are going to be able to build more lean muscle. And then that's also going to help you burn more fat. When you have more lean muscle, your body can burn more fat, and it shifts that spectrum there. It shifts everything completely different, in terms of, oh, my body just stores fat, and it stores it right around that midsection. You get that tire around your midsection, and it's using the muscle tissue for energy. It flips that. So you're able to really gain muscle and start burning that fat. It's totally different. All right, Tina, what is your opinion on bioidentical hormones? Ooh, this is a really good question. Okay, bioidentical pellet, progesterone every night, sleep all night, and lost weight. Okay, yeah. So this is, for some women, they go on a bioidentical, and that changes things. Now, that's not getting your system to make more on its own. You're just, taking it in externally. So for some women, that's a way to do it. Is that, it doesn't make your body function on its own. Do you know what I mean? So you're just sort of getting it from somewhere else because your body's not. But it's really important that you're still maintaining all of the, food that you're getting, everything else, because your body still can be more sensitive to stress and process it differently. So that's a hard question just to answer, like, oh yeah, it's great or it's not great, because it's different. It's different for each person. There are some women who bioidentical doesn't work at all, and that's a per person individualistic thing. So that would be a great thing if you're looking at doing something like the 12-week menopause challenge. If you are, on something like that and you're like, is this going to help? Is this going to work? I've gotten halfway there. I want to get, all the way there. Is this going to be a good thing to schedule a call with my team? Yes. It's plant-based, they said. You fast and eat more meat. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So again, it's really individualistic for a lot of women. But there are women out there that they have horrific reactions to it. So, so they're like, then what do I do? I can't be on that, So this is where, making sure, again, to really understand, why is this happening for me? I didn't change what I ate. I didn't change my activity levels. I'm still going to the gym. I'm still, doing all these healthy things. None of it is working out for me. My body is just changing. It's not responding, and I don't know what to do. Well, this is why that happens. Because you make some of the amino acids, and you have to get some of them from food. And when you go through menopause and the stress response that your body has, it just doesn't make the same amount anymore. So you have to get more from food. So, and again, either one is fine, right? If you eat meat, if you don't eat meat, either way, right? It's just being aware of, oh, that's why, because my body's just not able to make the same amount of amino acid it used to. I'm going to have to get more from food. That's going to get me to a better result. Yes. When we talk about amounts, how much more protein, that type of a thing, that is a lot of times what I chat with women and guide them on in the challenge, in the 12-week challenge, because each person can be different, right? What your goal is would be different from your neighbor's goal or somebody else's goal, and where you're at and things that you're struggling with, especially if you have other complicating factors like thyroid issues, autoimmune issues, excess stress in your life. All of that really plays a part. If you've been on a lot of crash diets, if your metabolism is just in the toilet already, there's a whole lot of other stuff we have to do to really get your metabolism going, as well as really get you the right amount of protein. It's this whole fun, a lot of dynamic things. And it's really important that you're addressing all of them, because the female body needs all of it addressed. For men, they don't go through this. Men, not a thing for them. They can stop drinking as much beer and lose 20 pounds. Right? So that is the biggest difference here for women, is that their bodies need something completely different. That our bodies need different maintenance, different care, especially when your hormones change, because you get a whole new body. It is totally different now, responds differently, everything. So as long as you're keeping up with what your new body needs, it makes all the difference. Tina, you got a lot of great comments. You eat kind of like carnivore, ha, right? Yes, and you feel great. Yeah, yes, totally different then. Grass-fed foods, lots of fish. Oh, veggies, yeah, because your digestive system changes too when you go through menopause. Yeah, so protein really does change so much for women when they go through menopause to really get and keep a better result. Because again, your body just doesn't make the same amount of amino acids that it used to. And again, that's the same. It doesn't, menopause, I get this question a lot too. it doesn't have to be just you reached that age, right? It can be, like I share this, I had a good friend of mine, she was 35, and she went through, her mom had tested positive for the BRCA gene, or she had tested positive for the BRCA gene. Her mom had gotten cancer, and she was really concerned, so she went ahead and had a, hysterectomy, double mastectomy, all this stuff, right? Slammed into menopause, 35 years old. So it's not just that, right? So these were all the things that she was having to do too. Go through and shift and change how she was eating, and really focusing on getting her hormones under control more because of that. Yeah. So it's very, very different. Tina, oh, your hubby loves crazy on keto. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. Again, I will, right now, there is that link in the comments where you can join the 12-week Menopause Challenge waitlist. And then I will also put a link there if you want to schedule a call with my team. If you don't want to wait, if you're like, I want one of those spots, I don't even want the sneak peek. I want one of those spots. I want to make sure they don't all get taken up, because I do have some people that have already snagged some of those spots for the 12-week challenge. We start July 1st. And again, in the wait list, we go through a sneak peek of everything. So it's super fun. So I'll put that link to schedule a call with my team as well in the comments. So look for that. But this is really, really important. So I hope this really kind of sheds some light. I've gotten some questions on this because I've talked so much about protein. Oh, yay, Tina, you love the videos. Great. Yeah, I've gotten so many questions on protein about, like, really, why is it that important? Or, oh, I got some of it, but, not all of it. I'm like, you really need to, this is, like, one of the number one things I changed for women, and this is why. Because when you don't make as much as you used to, you have to get more from food. There you go. So, yes. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys. And if you found this helpful, or if you know somebody that could use this information, I would so appreciate you sharing this with them. I mean, women learn most by that word of mouth, by sharing it, by sharing that message, things that you now learned or that have helped you, share that with other women, right? That's how we are going to change the scope of women's health. Yes. All right. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I will see you guys later.